Well, the Boston Celtics and Milwaukee Bucks faced off last night in a battle of two of the top 4 odds-on favorites to win the NBA title this season. They have been the favorites, at least in the East, virtually all season long. Hell, all off-season long. The matchup pitted two of the few teams in the league whose entire seasons will be an unmitigated failure if they come up with anything other than the Larry O'Brien Trophy this June. This was one of the few games on the regular season slate to get up for, a marquee game to tune into, a measuring stick for each. Unfortunately, Giannis Antetokounmpo couldn't be bothered to dress for this one because, wait for it, hamstring soreness. Freaking hamstring soreness?
It's a complete crap.
And Giannis is one of the few current players in today's NBA who actually has a drive to compete at both ends. A pure two-way player, league MVP, defensive player of the year, and NBA champion. He is the very best we have in today's game, and he is arguably the best. Yet even he exhibits these pathetic, weak-minded tendencies that have sadly become indicative of the league as a whole. We saw the chinks in the armor start surfacing last season in his pitiful post-game press conference sob fest following the Bucks' humiliating collapse against the 8-seeded Miami Heat, where he in fact let us all know the Bucks, having the best record in the NBA, being the odds-on favorite to win the title while being eliminated in the first round, was not a failure.
There's no failure in sports.
And yes, this most recent game against the Celtics wasn't going to mean much in the grand scheme of things for the Bucks, as while they sit currently in the 2 seed out east, they are 10 full games behind Boston with roughly 15 games remaining. But just what the hell happened to personal and professional pride? This disgusting tactic of load management and players sitting out to rest without viable injuries has been one of the major staples of the decline of professional basketball over the last decade. And what hope do we have when it is the very best players in the sport that are deploying these embarrassing strategies? 4 of the last 6 league MVPs missed at least 10 games in their league MVP years. And last season's MVP, Joel Embiid, missed 16 games. This issue is pervasive throughout the league currently, and it is highlighted amongst the upper tier of the players. Look no further than the All-NBA selections from a year ago. Steph Curry and LeBron James made All-NBA teams while missing nearly 30 games. In fact, of the 15 players to be selected to the first, second, or third All-NBA teams a year ago, only Jason Tatum, De'Aaron Fox, Julius Randle, and Domantas Sabonis played more than 60-something games, while 3 players played in the 50s. This issue of load management and mentally weak players taking rest days has reached such a critical mass, the league offices were forced to implement a 65-game threshold for players to be eligible for any of these awards. And the soft, pampered crop of superstars in today's league were actually complaining about it. We have reached the point now where I have to offer the gentle reminder Michael Jordan played at least 80 games 11 times in his NBA career, including playing a full 82-game slate in his final year in the NBA at the age of 39. It wasn't just Jordan though, it was the entire generation of players. John Stockton had a streak where he played 82 games 12 times in a 13-year span. Stockton played every possible game of a season 17 times throughout his career, while his teammate Karl Malone missed only 3 total games the entire decade of the 90s. But it wasn't just that era of players. It was every era of players until this one. Kareem played at least 75 games 17 times in his career, Russell played over 76 games for the last 9 seasons of his career. And we even saw all-time legends such as Larry Bird and Kobe Bryant intentionally sacrifice themselves and prematurely end their careers due to the extreme levels they went with their playing style and refusal to rest games. We had players out here in damn neck braces in previous eras, and now one of the handful of best players in the league today is sitting out against his principal rival with hamstring soreness, while the self-proclaimed king and alleged GOAT has been nursing his fake ankle injury for years now. What a time to be alive. There is but one elite player today that has been out here punching the clock daily for the last couple years, and it is unsurprisingly the best player the planet has to offer at the moment, as Nikola Jokic played every single game of his 2020-21 MVP season, while he has missed only 2 games thus far this year. And luckily for us, there are additionally some young rising stars now that look to have the drive and desire to play nightly. We can only hope that this new crop of players can erase the pathetic load management era and reignite the league with a fire to compete nightly and play through injuries, to reestablish the grit and toughness which once typified the NBA, back when men were still men and alphas still ruled the expanse of basketball.